Paul, we might do a whole question and answer. I'm not sure. I want you guys to know what's going on the south side of Chicago. And that's why I had Paul come down here. This is a guy who is trying to reform the blacks in Chicago from the inside. They are not going to kiss the butts of the Democrats anymore. Okay, he's going to take it from here, and we might just develop into a question and answer session. I don't know, because I have trouble understanding what we can do to help. So if you guys have questions, ask him. Maybe we can get a back and forth going here, and we can figure out what we can do to help those people up there that really deserve our help.
How you people doing today? First of all, I'd like to say that I'm from Chicago. And in Chicago, we have what they call a sanctuary city. Sanctuary city is a city where it allows people who are illegal to have jobs, to steal your identity, and to not allow American citizens to get jobs. Now, in the city of Chicago and in Cook County, it is not a Republican city. It's a Democratic city. It is not a Republican county. It's a Democratic county. So I can't blame Republicans for what's happening in Chicago. I have to put the blame square on those who are responsible for it. Right there in the city of Chicago, if a guy comes from the military, and they are sending people back from the military, they're not going to be able to get no jobs up there, because all those jobs will be given away. Now just imagine what I'm saying to you. You got people that's coming back from Iraq. You got people that's coming back from Afghanistan. And they are legal American citizens, and they won't be given an opportunity to work in their own city. They can fight for their country, but they can't work in their own country, provide a livelihood in their community. In our community, where we're from, it is black leadership that let us down. In our community, there is no white leaders in our community, aldermen, state representatives. They're not white folks, they're black folks. And they're all Democrats. And all of them make sure that no resources come back to the community. That's what's happening in our community. Just like you're throwing off the shackles of the Republican Party, who have denied you the very things that you have asked for, the exact same thing is happening in the black community with the Democrats. There are Democrats in our community that they don't care nothing about, and they look just like me, and they're not giving us nothing. When you ride through our community and you see all those vacant lots, and you see all the destruction and murder and mayhem in my community, they don't care. They don't give a damn about our community. Like I said to you, I seen that man there. That man got a Marine. He got a Marine Corps on the back of his jacket. I respect them. I hadn't had a couple fights with them before. I respect them guys. And when them guys come back from the military, they should be given an opportunity to work in their own community. How can you have a sanctuary city and it's not for Americans? That's the question that needs to be. These candidates that are running, whether they be Democrats or Republicans, this issue haven't came up. Why haven't this issue came up? How can you have a sanctuary city in the city of Chicago? Chicago has just as many as legals in the city of Chicago as LA. The reason why you have the level of murder and destruction in the city of Chicago is based on those different drug mobs that's coming from the border. They're dumping these drugs in my community. That's right. They're dumping it in my community. Where's black leadership? Why don't they say anything about it? They find everything wrong with you. I know exactly what the Tea Party is going through, because they're doing it right to the young black men and women in my community. They're demonizing. Every time y'all say something about anything that's not a part of this administration or the old status quo, they demonize you. When you say something about abortion, they demonize you. When you say something about same-sex marriage, they demonize you. When you say something about cut the taxes, they demonize you. They do the exact same thing to us. The grassroots organizations in our community are never getting time on the air. We're never given opportunities to say anything on TV. we're never given an opportunity to really resolve our issues. It shouldn't take this long to resolve our issues. With all these opportunities that have been given to our community, they have been stolen from us. And they were stolen from us with the Democratic Party. You can't blame Republicans in our community. There is no Republicans in Chicago. There is no Republicans that's running Cook County. Those are Democrats. You use Chicago as a model on how you steal everything from everybody else. That's what they're doing. Right there in Chicago, while they're locking up the governor, the mayor didn't step down because he's just tired of being the mayor. He's stepping down because he is just as much a part of this criminal outfit in the city of Chicago as anybody else. They're not treating me as an American, and they're not treating you as an American. They're denying you every opportunity that your ancestors, y'all didn't get America by kissing ass. You got America by kicking ass. That's how you got this country. And you can't be ashamed of who you are. And I'm not ashamed of who I am. This is America. And in America, this is a democratic process. And since this is a democratic process, then we have the right and the foresight to see that those people are the same people. They have promoted a perverted agenda. Democrats and Republicans. Take California, for instance. Look at California. The state of California that came up with Proposition 8. Proposition 8 was done by just grassroots people, just like people like yourself. And they said, we're going to see. You keep saying that their gay agenda is the real agenda in California, and they found out. And when the vote was counted, they voted against same-sex marriage. You know I'm not lying. They voted against it. But who did they get to overturn it? Who did they get to overturn same-sex marriage? That wasn't a Democrat they went and got. They went and got a conservative judge, a judge that George Bush appointed. And then he overturned it. But who was the lawyer? Who was the lawyer that they went and got? It was the same lawyer that he was down in Florida that George Bush had. Ain't no Democrat or Republican. They are all on the same team. If we want to change America, if we want to turn things around, you're going to have to go back to the ground. You're going to have to go back to the grassroots organizations, the grassroots people, and they're going to have to listen to what y'all saying. It's a shame that a man go over into a fight in a war, come back to his own neighborhood, and here you got somebody that just snuck across the border, you done gave him a job, and tell the man that done fought to keep this country from losing this country, we're not going to even bring this agenda up. We're not going to even say nothing about it in the election. That's a shame. You should be more upset than me. I haven't even been in a war. I ain't never been in a war. But you should be just as much upset as I am that they would allow this type of program to be ran right here in the state of Illinois. It's sacrilege. Why is blasphemy? You're supposed to get what you earn. If anything, what we ought to be talking about, why is these people running over here? Why are we not trying to help them to save their country? If we can go to Iraq and Iran and save everybody else around the world and the people right next to us, what kind of democracy is that? We should be saying, look, you don't have to flee from your country. You don't have to run across the border. Let's try to save your country. They just had a thing on TV just maybe a week and a half ago where they slaughtered 70 people down there across the border. It wasn't on it. Where's the... That was a human rights violation. 70 people. They had a soul. They were somebody. They were somebody's mama and daddy. Nobody says nothing about this. But as long as we got a sanctuary city, that is a system that they didn't put in place to deny me and my community a middle class, and also to steal and rob you of your middle class. Because you better remember, them people bogus. And that structure that they got up there in Chicago bogus. And y'all got to be just as upset as I'm upset. And furthermore, and I'm going to leave it at this, the enemy of any free democracy is a person that like to wrap himself in the flag, but all the time he's a scoundrel. Mike Madigan is the main perpetrator that's pulling all these stunts off. And you got to take his power from him. You white folks cannot allow him to stay in power. Everything that y'all suffering is through Mike Madigan. That's all I got to say.